What if the VPS you're paying for right now could be replaced with a completely free one? Or maybe you're still searching and every website keeps asking for a credit card before you can even start. In the next few minutes, I'll show you exactly how to get a free 24/7 VPS server that supports Pterodactyl Panel with no credit card required and no complicated setup. But don't skip ahead, because one small step near the end is where most people accidentally lose access to their server. I'll show you how to avoid that mistake and keep everything running smoothly. Before we jump in, if you're into free VPS servers, developer tools, hosting tricks, and tech tutorials that actually save you money, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. And if there's a tool or tutorial you want me to cover next, drop it in the comments below. Now let's get your free VPS up and running. Quick disclaimer, everything shown in this video is working correctly at the time of recording. Platforms, features, limits, and requirements can change over time. So if you notice something different on your screen, that's likely because the platform has been updated since this video was published. Head over to the site on your screen, daytona.io, and don't click anything just yet. There's one setting here that makes all the difference, and I'll show you exactly what to choose. First, we need to create our free account. Simply sign up using your preferred email address. Once you're logged in, you'll be asked to set a default region. This region will be used whenever you create and manage sandboxes. At the time of recording, only 2 regions are available, so select the one you prefer. On the left-hand side, click on Sandboxes. This is where we'll create the environment that powers our free VPS. Click Create Sandbox. Give your sandbox any name you like. For this tutorial, I'll use something like this. The region should already be selected automatically. Now pay attention to this part. Above the region, you'll see a setting called Snapshot. Click the drop-down menu and select Daytona Large. This is important because it gives us access to more resources for our VPS environment. Next, set the auto-stop minutes to approximately 43,800. That's a reasonable value, and it helps us avoid abusing the platform. Leave the remaining settings unchanged. Scroll down, enable Public HTTP Preview, and click Create. Let me quickly fix the sandbox name. Make sure you use a simple name without unnecessary special characters. Our sandbox is now ready. The next step is to open the terminal and start preparing our VPS. There are 2 ways to access the terminal. We can use the terminal inside this window, or click Open in New Window. I prefer opening it in a new window because it gives us more space to work. The first thing I'll do is switch to the root user using sudo su. This gives us full administrative access, so we can install software and configure the server. Now, I'll run apt update. This refreshes the package list and makes sure we're downloading the latest available software. Once that's finished, I'll run apt upgrade. This installs the latest updates, security patches, and bug fixes automatically. So far, we've already set up the foundation of a powerful cloud environment that can be used for development, hosting applications, running containers, and much more. Next, you'll need a command that I'll leave in the description. Copy it and paste it into the terminal when you reach this stage. This step is important, so don't skip it. Follow along carefully, because I'll show you exactly what to select during the installation process. The upgrade may take a few minutes to complete, so be patient while everything finishes installing. While we're waiting, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing so you don't miss future VPS, cloud computing, and developer resource tutorials. I'll fast forward through this section and jump straight to the important part. During the installation process, you may be asked for an Ubuntu login and password. Remember, we're using root for both, so simply enter those credentials and continue. Now that the installation is complete, let's continue. One of the best things about this setup is that we can also create SSH access for remote management. Quick question. What do most people forget to do after installing everything on a fresh VPS? They skip the final update check. Before we move on, let's switch back to the root user one more time, using the same sudo su command. This gives us full administrative access to make sure everything is fully updated. Next, we'll rerun apt update to refresh the server's package list and check for any new packages that may have become available during the installation process. After that, we'll run apt upgrade y once again. This ensures that all installed packages are updated to their latest versions, including important security patches, performance improvements, and bug fixes. It only takes a moment, but this simple step helps keep the VPS secure stable, and ready for whatever you plan to run on it. Now, if you reach a screen like this and it looks like something went wrong, don't panic. It may look like an error, but it's usually nothing serious. Simply press enter, type exit, or refresh the page and continue with the tutorial. You may find yourself on this screen at some point during the setup process. I'm not entirely sure what causes it, but I've seen it happen before. The good news is that a quick refresh of the terminal page usually fixes the issue right away. Once you're back in the terminal, run the apt update command again, and you should be good to continue with the rest of the setup. Next, I'll install NeoFetch using apt install NeoFetch. NeoFetch provides a clean summary of our system information, including memory, processor details, uptime, and operating system information. Once the installation is complete, I'll run NeoFetch. As you can see, our VPS resources are available and working correctly. This is always a good way to verify that everything was created successfully. I'll run systemctl status SSH to verify that the SSH service is active. SSH allows us to securely connect VPS from anywhere, making remote management much easier. Before installing additional software, let's inspect the hardware specifications. I'll run the lscpu command to display detailed information about the processor, including the CPU architecture and available cores. This helps us confirm exactly what resources our VPS has access to. Now let's install curl using apt install curl. Curl is a useful utility that allows us to download files and run installation scripts directly from the terminal. Once curl is installed, open another tab and search for Allama download. Copy the bash installation command provided on the website and paste it into the terminal. This will allow us to test what this VPS can handle and take advantage of the resources we've just configured. And that's it. We successfully created and configured a powerful cloud VPS, verified the system resources, enabled SSH access, and prepared it for real projects. If you found this video useful, make sure you watch my next video right here, where I'll show you how to get even more free cloud resources and tools to take your projects further. I'll see you in the next one.